I want you to close your eyes for a moment and picture a scene that might feel all too familiar. It's late. The house is finally quiet. The noise of the day has faded away, and you are lying next to him. You love him. You are attracted to him. But as the lights go down and you move toward each other, there is a quiet, nagging thought in the back of your mind. You know exactly what is going to happen next. You know where his hands will go. You know the rhythm he will use. You know the exact sequence of events that leads to the end. And while it is nice, perhaps even comforting, it lacks that electric, heart-pounding spark that used to make your breath catch in your throat. We call this the illusion of routine. In long-term relationships, or even in the modern dating world where everything moves so fast, we often fall into a script. We treat intimacy like a checklist. Kiss, check, check, finish, check. We think that because we are physically close, we are being intimate. But deep down, you might be feeling a sense of disconnect. You might worry that you've become vanilla. You might fear that he is bored, or worse, that you are bored. This is not your fault. Society has taught us that intimacy is something that just happens if two people like each other. But that is a lie. True, mind-blowing intimacy, the kind that makes him finish hard and remember it for days, is not an accident. It is an art form. The nervousness you feel about trying something new, that is an insecurity. That is your intuition telling you that there is more available to you. There is a level of passion and intensity that you haven't unlocked yet, simply because no one ever gave you the key. Tonight, we are going to shatter that routine. We are going to stop relying on autopilot and start driving the experience. You are about to discover that the routine isn't the end of your passion. It is the canvas upon which we are going to paint something unforgettable. The difference between a good partner and a woman he is obsessed with isn't about how you look or how flexible you are. It is about understanding the hidden psychological triggers that wake him up from his routine slumber. Are you ready to wake him up? The male arousal loop. Before we dive into the specific techniques, you need to understand the machine you are operating. You need to understand the male brain. Most women, and honestly, most men, misunderstand how male arousal actually works. We are taught to believe that men are simple light switches. You flip the switch, the light goes on, and you're done. We think it's all about friction and visual stimulation, but that is a surface level understanding. If you want him to not just finish, but to surrender completely to the moment, you need to tap into something deeper. You need to tap into the male arousal loop. Here is the science. The male brain is driven by a neurochemical called dopamine. You've heard of it. It's the reward chemical. But here is the secret. Dopamine spikes highest during anticipation, not during the reward itself. Think about that. The moment he gets exactly what he wants, his dopamine levels actually begin to drop. The excitement is in the craving. It is in the chase. It is in the tension of the almost. When intimacy becomes routine, there is no gap between wanting and having. He wants you. He touches you. He has you. The loop is too short. There is no time for the pressure to build. And without that psychological pressure, the physical release is weak. It's just a biological function, like scratching an itch. To make him finish hard, to create an experience that shakes him to his core, we have to widen that gap. We have to stretch out the loop. We need to keep him in a state of high, alert anticipation where his brain is screaming, I need this, but his body is forced to wait. This is where true power lies. It is not about doing more physically. It is about doing it with more psychological intent. Think of his arousal like a loaded spring. If you just press it down and let go immediately, it creates a small hop. But if you press it down, hold it there, add tension, twist it, and then let go, the release is explosive. The 9 techniques we are about to cover are designed to compress that spring. They move beyond simple friction and target his nervous system. We are going to shift the focus from stimulation to a psychological tension. When you understand this, you stop worrying about technique in a mechanical sense. You stop worrying if you are good in bed, and you start playing a different game entirely. You become the architect of his desire. You control the dopamine. And when you control the dopamine, you control the man. The secret of forgotten art. So how do we manipulate this loop? How do we create this massive dopamine spike? We do it by going back in time. We live in a world of instant gratification. Everything is fast. Dating apps, fast food, quick hookups. In this speed, we have lost the art of slow, deliberate seduction. We have forgotten the techniques that women used for centuries to captivate men, techniques that were passed down not as sex tips, but as wisdom of the feminine mystique. The 9 techniques I am about to share with you are what I call the forgotten arts. They are forgotten because they require patience. They are forgotten because they require presence. But most of all, they are forgotten because they are subtle. In a world that screams, these techniques whisper, and as you will learn, a whisper is infinitely more powerful than a shout. These methods are not about learning acrobatic positions or buying expensive lingerie. They are about using the tools you already possess: your eyes, your breath, your voice, your hands, and your energy. We're going to explore the visual echo, where you control exactly what he sees to hijack his imagination. We will talk about the ghost touch, a way of touching him that activates nerve endings he didn't even know he had. We will uncover the power of the auditory anchor, using sound to vibrate his very soul. By the time we reach the final technique, energy transmutation, you will have a complete toolkit that separates you from every other woman he has ever been with. Most women are playing checkers. They are just moving pieces around the board. After this video, you will be playing chess. I want you to see this video with an open mind. Some of these ideas might seem simple at first glance. Do not be deceived. Their power lies in their execution. You are about to learn how to become a woman who creates an experience so intense, so profound, and so pleasurable that he won't just want you, he will need you. This is your journey from uncertainty to mastery. The routine ends right now. The art of the forgotten begins. Technique 8, Wanchin, the art of visual, I begin with the eyes. But not in the way you might the eyes. When we talk about men being visual creatures, most women immediately feel a spike of anxiety. You start thinking about the parts of your body you aren't confident in. You think about the lights being too bright or the angle being unflattering. You think that to be visually stimulating, you need to look like a retouched photo in a magazine. I want you to delete that belief from your mind right now. That is not how the male brain processes visual desire. If you show a man everything naked, bright lights, full display, you are actually turning off a crucial part of his brain. You are giving him the fact of your body, and facts are boring. Facts don't leave room for mystery. Technique number 1 is called visual echoing. This is the art of giving him a glimpse, an echo of your body, and forcing his brain to paint the rest of the picture. Neuroscience tells us that the human brain is obsessed with completion. When it sees a partial pattern, it works overtime to fill in the blanks. In that gap between what he sees and what he imagines desire is born. So, how do you use this? It starts with lighting. Never use overhead lighting. Overhead light is for surgeries and supermarkets. It is the enemy of intimacy. You want side lighting or backlighting. A single candle behind you or a lamp in the corner creates silhouettes. When you stand in front of a light source, your body becomes a shadow. He sees the curve of your hip, the line of your neck, the shape of your waist, but he cannot see the details. This triggers his hunting instinct. He has to squint, he has to lean in. He is trying to solve the puzzle of you. You have instantly become a mystery. Now, let's talk about the flash. This is a movement technique. Instead of undressing immediately, you use the concept of the visual echo. Let a strap fall from your shoulder, then pull it back up. Let the sheet slip down to reveal your lower back, then cover it again as you roll over. You are creating a rhythm of now you see it. Now you don't think about a movie trailer. The trailer is often more exciting than the movie because it shows you flashes of high intensity without giving away the plot. You want to be the trailer. If you are self-conscious about your stomach or your thighs or any other part of you, this technique is your best friend. It allows you to control the narrative. By using sheets, robes, or lingerie to cover parts of yourself and only revealing small windows of skin, you actually heighten his arousal more than if you were completely nude. Focus on the erogenous visual zones that are often neglected: the collarbone, the arch of the foot, the slope of the neck. Imagine this scenario: you are in the bedroom. Instead of taking everything off, you leave a shirt on, but unbuttoned. You move in a way that the shirt falls open for a split second when you lean over him and then closes when you sit back. That split second, that is the echo. His brain captures that image like a photograph. Because it was brief, his mind replays it over and over again in the span of seconds. He is mentally undressing you, and mental undressing is infinitely more powerful than physical undressing, because in his mind, the fantasy is perfect. By controlling the visual input, you are controlling his dopamine spikes. You are teaching him that he has to pay attention. If he blinks, he misses it. This makes him hyper-focused on you. He stops looking at the ceiling. He stops thinking about work, and he becomes glued to your every movement. You are not hiding your body because of shame. You are curating his view because of power. You are the director of this scene. Frame the shot, create the shadow. Let him see the echo and watch him chase the source. Technique Vate 2A, the psychological edge. Once you have captivated his eyes, we move to his mind. We move to the concept of the psychological edge. In the world of intimacy, we are often taught that vise is the magic word. We think that to please a man, we must give him what he wants when he wants it. We worry that if we stop or if we say wait, he will get frustrated or lose interest. But this is a misunderstanding of the male drive. Technique number 2 is about the power of denial. But I don't want you to think of denial as a punishment. It is not about saying no. It is about saying not yet. Think about a time you were incredibly hungry. You are at a restaurant and you can smell the food coming from the kitchen. You are waiting. That hunger, that anticipation, that slight frustration, it makes the first bite taste like heaven. If you were full, the food would mean nothing. To make him finish hard, you must make him hungry first. You must starve the senses slightly to amplify the feast. This technique is often called edging, but we are going to apply it psychologically, not just physically. This is about interrupting the pattern of gratification. Here is how you execute the psychological edge. You start a motion that has a clear destination. For example, you are kissing his neck, moving lower and lower. His brain predicts the pattern as she is going down to my chest, then lower. He starts to prepare for that sensation. He relaxes into the expectation, and then you stop, you pull back, you move away, you go back up to his ear and whisper something unrelated, or you simply stop touching him altogether and just look at him. In that moment, his brain goes into a chaotic state of error. The pattern was broken. The dopamine that was rising to meet the expectation has nowhere to go, so it pulls in his system, creating a surge of intense craving. He might reach for you, he might groan, he might ask, "What are you doing?" This is the sweet spot. You have taken him off autopilot. You can do this with touch as well. Let your hand glide down his body, firm and purposeful. He feels the heat of your hand. He anticipates contact with his most sensitive areas. And then just inches before you get there, you lift your hand. You let your fingertips hover over the skin. Ghost touch, or you simply move your hand to his knee. The contrast between what he expected and what he got creates a psychological vacuum. He wants it more now than he did 5 seconds ago. This requires confidence. You have to be comfortable with the tension. You have to be comfortable with him being a little frustrated. Trust me, sexual frustration is the fuel to obsession. If you give him everything immediately, the energy dissipates. It's a slow leak. But if you hold back, if you build the pressure, the energy condenses. It becomes pressurized. Think of it like blowing up a balloon. If you just blow it up and let it go, it flies around aimlessly. But if you blow it up, hold the neck tight, let a little air out, then blow it up more, the tension on the rubber becomes immense. That is his nervous system. You are the one holding the neck of the balloon. Use the stop and stare. When things are getting heated, when the rhythm is fast and heavy, physically push him back gently. Stop all movement. Take a deep breath. Smooth your hair. Look at him with a calm smile. He will be confused. He will be panting. His heart will be racing. In that pause, he is realizing how much he desires you. He is realizing that he is not in control. You are, and that surrender, that is the precursor to the hardest finish of his life. He isn't just releasing tension. He is releasing the accumulated desperation of wanting you. Technique 8-3. Auditory anchor. We have engaged his eyes. We have engaged his mind. Now we must engage his primal brain through sound. Technique number 3 is the auditory anchor, or as I like to put, warfare. Most women underestimate the power of sound. They either stay silent, fearing they will say the wrong thing, or they feel pressure to make performance noises, loud moans or screams that they think men expect from watching movies. But real hard-hitting intimacy isn't about volume, it is about frequency. The male brain is wired to respond to low-frequency vibrations. High-pitched sounds can trigger alarm or irritation in the amygdala, but low, breathy, soft sounds trigger a relaxation and dominance response. It creates a feeling of intimacy that bypasses his logical brain entirely. Why is the whisper so powerful? Because of the proximity effect. In audio engineering, the closer you get to the microphone, the deeper and richer your voice sounds. In intimacy, the closer your mouth is to his ear, the more you invade his personal sensory bubble. When you whisper, you are forcing him to focus. He cannot hear you if he is distracted. He has to tune out the world and tune into you. It creates a secret channel of communication. But it's not just about that you whisper, it's about what and how. The how, drop your voice. I don't mean make it deeper like a man. I mean drop the register into your chest. Use your breath. The air hitting his ear is just as important as the sound itself. It sends shivers down the neck, which is a major nerve cluster. Aim for the left ear. Studies in psychology suggest that the left ear is more connected to the emotional centers of the brain, while the right ear is more connected to the logical centers. We want to speak to his emotions. We want to speak to his desire. You don't need to write a script or talk dirty if that's not your style. The most powerful auditory anchors are essentially narrations of the present moment. I love how you feel. You are so warm. I've been thinking about this all day. Don't stop. Notice these are simple. They are direct, but when whispered directly into the ear canal, they act like commands. There is also the power of the non-verbal whisper, the hum, the breathy exhale. Imagine you are kissing his neck. Instead of being silent, let out a low, vibrating hum against his skin. He will feel that vibration travel through his skin and into his muscles. It is a form of internal massage. It tells him without words that you are enjoying him. And remember, the number one turn on for a man is the knowledge that he is pleasing you. When he hears that vibration, his confidence skyrockets, his testosterone spikes, he feels like a king. Silence can be misinterpreted. Silence can feel like boredom. Silence can feel like you are in your head thinking about your grocery list. But sound is proof of life. Sound is proof of passion. Use your voice to anchor him to the moment. If you feel him drifting, or if the rhythm is getting too mechanical, use a whisper to bring him back. Lean in and say, "Look at me," the command combined with the breath on his ear acts as a reset button. It pulls him out of performance mode and back into connection mode. This is why we call it an anchor. It keeps the ship steady in the storm. It keeps him tethered to you. So tonight, do not be silent. You don't need to be loud, but you must be present. Let your breath tell the story. Let your whisper be the soundtrack. When you combine the visual echo, the psychological edge of denial, and the auditory anchor, you have fully prepped his mind. You have created a canvas of intense anticipation. He is watching you. He is craving you, and he is listening to you. His brain is ready. Now, we must move to the body. We're going to explore the sensory symphony. We are going to touch him in ways he has never been touched before, using temperature, texture, and the forgotten maps of his skin. Get ready to engage his senses. Technique Y4, the ghost touch. We have primed his mind. Now, we must wake up his skin. When we think about touching a man, especially during foreplay, there is a common misconception. We tend to think that because men are tougher or more muscular, they require firm, hard pressure to feel anything. We grab, we squeeze, we scratch. We think that intensity equals passion, but biology tells us a different story. Your skin is the largest organ in the human body. It is covered in millions of nerve endings. Some of these nerves respond to deep pressure like a massage, but there is another set of nerves located right on the surface that are designed to detect the lightest, most subtle movements. These are the nerves that detect a spider crawling on your arm or a breeze blowing through the window. And here is the secret. These surface nerves are directly connected to the brain's arousal center in a way that deep pressure is not. Deep pressure is relaxing. Light pressure is electrifying. Technique number 4 is the ghost touch. The goal of the ghost touch is to activate the erector pili muscles, the tiny muscles at the base of each hair follicle. When these engage, we get goosebumps. And when a man gets goosebumps, his body is flooded with a mixture of adrenaline and dopamine. He is on high alert. So how do you master this? You must train yourself to touch him with almost zero pressure. I want you to imagine that your fingertips are made of silk. You are not trying to move his skin. You are trying to hover just above it. Start with the back of your hand. Most women use their palms, which are warm and firm. But the back of your hand and your fingernails are cooler and sharper. Drag your fingernails lightly, so lightly down his forearm. Do not scratch. If you leave a white mark, you press too hard. You want to barely graze the hairs. Watch his reaction. You will see a shiver ripple through his body. That shiver is not cold, it is neural activation. Use this technique on the areas he least expects. Run your fingertips up the inside of his thigh, but do not touch the main event. Just trace the line. The ghost touch works best when it is teasing a destination, but never arriving. Why is this so powerful? It comes back to the brain's need for data. When you grab him firmly, his brain says, okay, that is a hand on my arm. It processes the sensation quickly and moves on. It's predictable. But when you use the ghost touch, the sensation is ambiguous. Is it a tickle? Is it a caress? Is it pain or pleasure? His brain has to work overtime to interpret the signal. This sensory ambiguity creates a hyperfocus. He literally cannot think about anything else because his nerves are screaming for more data. You can also use your hair. If you have long hair, let it drag across his chest or his stomach while you are hovering over him. The sensation of hair against skin is incredibly stimulating because it is organic, unpredictable, and softer than anything else. And don't forget the spine. The spine is the highway of the nervous system. Using the ghost touch down the center of his back, vertebrae by vertebrae, is like playing a piano. You are triggering reflexes that are primitive and uncontrollable. This technique requires patience. You will feel the urge to speed up or grab him, especially as he gets aroused. Resist it. When you see him flinch or arch his back or reach out to grab you, that is the sign that it is working. He is reaching out because he craves the pressure. He wants you to ground him because the ghost touch is making him feel like he is floating. But don't give in yet. Keep him in the float. Keep him in the shiver. By denying him the firm touch he is used to, you are sensitizing him. You are turning the volume knob of his body all the way up. So when you finally do grab him, when you finally wrap your hands around him firmly, the sensation will be 10 times more intense. The ghost touch is the appetizer that makes him starve for the main course. It transforms his skin from a protective shield into a receiver of pleasure. Master the light touch and you master his anticipation. Technique by 5E, the contrast principle. The human body is an adaptation machine. It is designed to get used to things. If you jump into a cold pool, it is shocking for 10 seconds. Then your body adjusts and it just feels normal. If you sit in a hot bath, it feels intense at first, then it just feels warm. The same thing happens in the bedroom. Even the most pleasurable touches can become normal after a few minutes because his skin adapts to your temperature. Your hands are warm, his skin is warm, it all blends together. To make him finish hard, we need to break this adaptation. We need to shock the system. Technique number 5 is the contrast principle. This is the art of using temperature to keep his nerves guessing. When you introduce sudden changes in temperature, his brain perceives it as a new environment. It triggers a survival mechanism that heightens awareness. He becomes hyper-present. You don't need expensive toys to do this. You have everything you need in your kitchen. Let's start with cold. Cold is a vasoconstrictor. It tightens the skin and creates a rush of blood to the area. Once the cold is removed, it is distinct and sharp. Try this. Keep a glass of ice water by the bedside. Before you touch him or go down on him, take a sip of the ice water. Hold it in your mouth for 10 seconds until your mouth is cold. Then use your mouth on his neck, his ear, or lower. The sensation of the cold against his warm skin is electric. It is a shock to the system that immediately snaps him out of any trance. It feels forbidden and intense. Or simply dip your fingers in the ice water before running them down his spine. The contrast between the warm room and your cold fingers will make him gasp. That gasp is the sound of his nervous system waking up. Now, let's talk about heat. Heat is a vasodilator, opens up blood vessels and brings blood to the surface. It relaxes the muscles but heightens sensitivity. You can use the warmth of your own breath. We often breathe on our partners, but are we doing it intentionally? Cup your hands over his ear or his neck and exhale slowly. Trap the heat. This concentrated warmth feels incredibly intimate and soothing. Or use a warming oil, rub it between your hands until friction makes it hot, then apply it firmly. But the real magic happens when you combine them. This is the contrast principle in action. Fire and ice. Start with the cold. Use the ice water technique or a cooling mint. Create that sharp tingling sensation. Let him live in that coolness for a minute. Then immediately switch to heat. Use your warm mouth, your hot breath, or your warm hands over the same spot. The brain cannot process these two signals simultaneously. It gets confused. Is it cold? Is it hot? This confusion creates a sensory overload. The nerves start firing rapidly to try and figure out what is happening. This overload is exactly what we want. It bypasses his logical thoughts completely. He isn't thinking about his performance. He is just feeling. Imagine using this on the most sensitive parts of his body. The contrast creates a sensation that feels much more intense than just friction. It feels like a chemical reaction is happening on his skin. And psychologically, it shows effort. It shows him that you prepared. You brought the ice water. You thought about the oil. You are not just showing up. You are performing a ritual. Men love effort. When he sees that you are going out of your way to create a sensory experience for him, it triggers a deep emotional gratitude. He feels taken care of. He feels worshipped. And a man who feels worshipped will give you everything he has. So don't be afraid to play with the elements. Break the monotony of body heat. Introduce the shock of the cold and the comfort of the warmth. Keep his senses active and he will never be bored. Technique for 868, the sacred geographies. Most of us are lazy cartographers. When we explore a man's body, we stick to the main highways. We go for the chest, the mouth, and the south. We treat the rest of his body like flyover country, just space to get across to reach the destination. But if you want to drive him wild, you need to be an explorer. You need to discover the sacred geographies. Technique number 6 is about mapping the neglected erogenous zones. Men are conditioned to expect touch in the obvious places. When you touch him there, it feels good, but it's expected. It's routine. But when you touch a place he rarely thinks about, it surprises his brain. It creates a new neural pathway of pleasure. Let's map out 4 territories you need to claim tonight. The first territory, the inner wrist and forearm. The skin on the inside of the wrist is incredibly soft and thin. It is highly sensitive to the ghost touch we talked about earlier. Before you even get to the bedroom, maybe while you are at dinner or watching a movie, run your fingers over his inner wrist, trace the veins. It is an incredibly intimate, vulnerable spot. It signals possession. It says, I have you. The second territory, the back of the knee. This is a major cluster of nerves and lymph nodes. It is rarely touched. When he is lying on his stomach, don't just massage his back. Go lower. Kiss the back of his knees. Use your tongue there because it is a forgotten zone. The sensation will feel foreign and shocking. He will likely jerk his leg. That's a reflex. It means the signal went straight to his spine. The third territory, the neck and ears. The neck is a primal vulnerability point. In the wild, animals protect their necks. When you allow someone to touch your neck, it is the ultimate sign of trust. Don't just kiss his neck, nuzzle. Use your nose to inhale his scent right behind his ear. Bite gently, very gently, on the tendon that connects the neck to the shoulder. This triggers a dominance submission response. He feels your breath, he feels your teeth, and it awakens his protective primal instincts. The fourth territory, the perineum, ladies, we need to be adults here. This is the area between the equipment and the back. In Eastern traditions, this is considered the root of male energy. You don't need to do anything invasive. Simply applying firm pressure to this spot with your hand during the heat of the moment can be explosive for him. It is physically connected to the internal structure of his arousal. Many women ignore this area because they think it's off limits. It's not. It is the control center. By engaging this zone, you physically stimulate the prostate indirectly, leading to much more powerful finishes without him even realizing why. The psychology behind the sacred geographies is the element of surprise. When you spend 5 minutes worshipping his inner thighs without touching the center or kissing his stomach or massaging his scalp, you are telling his body you are more than just a tool for sex. You are a being of pleasure. This builds what we call total body arousal. If you only focus on the genitals, the arousal is localized. It's just happening in one place. But when you activate the knees, the neck, the wrists, the chest, the arousal becomes systemic. His whole body is buzzing. This is how you get him to finish hard. You aren't just trying to ignite a small spark in one location. You are lighting fires all over the map. By the time you get to the main event, the fire is spread everywhere. He is consumed by it. So tonight, take the scenic route. Don't rush to the destination. Explore the map. Find the hidden valleys and the secret spots. Show him that his entire body is an instrument and you are the only one who knows how to play it. We have mastered the mind and the senses. Now we must move to the deepest level of all. Now we enter the deep surrender. We are going to talk about rhythm, eye contact, and the ancient power of breath. We are going to learn how to break him open completely. Technique phase 7-9. Rhythm breaker. We have arrived at the deep end. We have prepared his mind with visuals and we have awakened his body with sensory play. Now we must talk about the motion itself. We must talk about rhythm. There is a trap that almost every couple falls into. It is the trap of the perfect rhythm. You find a speed that works, a motion that feels good, and you stick to it. You lock into a groove. It's consistent, it's steady. But here is the problem with steady. The human brain is designed to ignore constants. If you walk into a room with a ticking clock, you hear it loudly for the first minute. After 10 minutes, you don't hear it at all. Your brain filters it out because it is predictable. It becomes background noise. The same thing happens to his pleasure receptors. If you keep the exact same pace, the exact same pressure, and the exact same motion for too long, his nerves start to habituate, the sensation dulls, he goes into a trance, but not the good kind. It's a numbing trance. He might still finish, but it will be a standard biological release. If you want him to finish hard, to have a release that leaves him shaking, you must apply the rhythm breaker. This is essentially chaos theory applied to intimacy. You must become unpredictable. You must refuse to let his nerves settle into a pattern. Just when he thinks he knows what you are doing, you change it. There are 3 ways to break the rhythm, speed, direction, and pressure. First, let's look at speed. Most women have 2 speeds, a start and finish. They start slow and gradually get faster until the end. It's a linear line. I want you to think in waves, not lines. Start slow, build it up until he is breathing heavily. Then drop it back down to 0. Stop completely. Or go back to a languid slow grind. This drop in speed is disorienting in the best way possible. His arousal was climbing a mountain and suddenly you pulled the ground out from under him. He has to scramble to find his footing. Then speed it up again, fast, frantic, then slow again. This stop-sprint method keeps his dopamine system firing rapidly. He never knows what is coming next, so he has to stay hyper-aware. Second direction, most intimacy is linear, up and down, in and out, but nerve endings are 3-dimensional, introducing the circle. Instead of a straight motion, use a circular motion. Whether you're using your hands or your body, circles stimulate different sides of the nerve endings that linear motion misses. Combine them. Do 3 linear strokes, then 1 circle, then 2 circles, then 5 linear strokes. You see the chaos? There is no pattern he can memorize. He cannot check out mentally because he has to physically adjust to you every few seconds. Third, pressure. We talked about the ghost touch earlier, but this is about mixing it into the main event. Alternate between a grip that is firm and possessive and a touch that is barely there. Squeeze him tight, letting him feel your strength. Then release that tension instantly and just let your skin glide over his. The contrast between being held and being free creates a psychological push-pull. Why does the rhythm breaker work so well? It prevents plateauing. A plateau happens when stimulation is constant, the pleasure level's off. By breaking the rhythm, you constantly reset the sensitivity meter. Every time you change the pace, it feels like a new touch. It keeps the sensation fresh. It also forces him to surrender control. Men are often control freaks in bed. They want to set the pace. They want to drive. When you use the rhythm breaker, you are taking the steering wheel. You are saying, I am setting the tempo. You just have to hold on. This is incredibly dominant in a feminine way. You aren't fighting him, you are conducting him. Imagine a song. If a song was just a drum beat that never changed for 4 minutes, you would get bored. But a great song has verses, choruses, bridges, quiet moments, and beat drops. The beat drop's the most exciting part because of the build up and the change. You are the music. Don't be a metronome, be a symphony. When you master the rhythm breaker, you will notice something change in him. He will stop trying to predict the end. He will stop rushing. He will become completely absorbed in the now because the now is constantly changing. And when you finally decide to lock into a steady, fast rhythm at the very end, the impact will be 10 times greater because you made him wait for it. Technique by day, the vulnerability vise. Now we move from the physical to the emotional. We are approaching the moment of no return. The energy is high. The rhythm is chaotic. He is close. At this moment, most people do the same thing. They close their eyes. It is a natural instinct. We close our eyes to focus on the sensation. We close our eyes to fantasize. We close our eyes because the intensity is too much to handle visually. But if you want to imprint yourself on his soul, if you want this to be more than just physical relief, you must do the hardest thing possible. You must open your eyes and you must force him to open his. Technique number 8 is the vulnerability vise. This is not a physical grip. It is an emotional lock. When a man is reaching the peak of arousal, he is in his most vulnerable state. His defenses are down. His ego is offline. He is pure raw instinct. If his eyes are closed, he is alone in that experience. He is inside his own head, perhaps visualizing you, perhaps just feeling the release. But if you catch his gaze, if you lock eyes with him right as he is going over the edge, you are forcing him to be present with you. This is terrifying for many women. It feels too intimate. It feels like he is seeing your flaws, your funny face, your loss of control. But he isn't seeing flaws. He is seeing a woman who is so confident, so connected, and so wild for him that she refuses to look away. Here is how you execute the vulnerability vise. As you feel him getting close, you will know the signs. His breathing changes, his muscles tense up. Lean back slightly so he can see your face. If his eyes are closed, whisper to him, open your eyes. Look at me. It is a command. When he opens them, lock onto his pupils. Don't look at his nose or his forehead. Look into him. Hold that gaze. Do not blink. Do not smile awkwardly. just look at him with raw desire. What happens psychologically at this moment? One, the mirror effect. Mirror neurons in the brain fire when we see someone else experiencing an emotion. When he sees the pleasure on your face, his own pleasure centers light up even brighter. He feeds off your visual arousal too. The validation of conquest. Men are biologically wired to want to know they have satisfied their partner. By looking at him, you are giving him visual proof of his success. You are showing him, you are doing this to me. This spikes his testosterone and his ego, making the physical finish much more powerful. 3, the soul bond. This sounds spiritual, but it is grounded in psychology. Shared intense experiences create bonds. If you are both looking at each other during the climax, your brains categorize this as a shared survival event. It creates a deep chemical attachment. This technique changes the nature of the orgasm. Without eye contact, an orgasm is a physical sneeze, a release of tension. With eye contact, it becomes an emotional collision. He feels seen in a way he rarely does in his daily life. He feels accepted in his most primal animalistic state. Many men feel a deep shame or post-coital disconnect after they finish. This is the post-nut clarity or the dopamine crash. The vulnerability vise prevents this crash. Because you were connected during the moment, the connection remains after the moment. Instead of turning away, he will want to pull you closer. This takes courage. It requires you to be completely unmasked. You cannot hide. But remember, we are not here to play it safe. We are here to be unforgettable. There is nothing more hauntingly beautiful to a man than the face of the woman he loves, watching him as he completely lets go. It is an image that will be burned into his memory. So when the moment comes, fight the urge to hide, open your eyes, demand that he sees you, be the last thing he sees before he loses control. And the first thing he sees when he comes back to Earth. Technique Bite 9a, the energy transmutation. We have arrived at the final technique, the 9th secret. This is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual. It is the technique that turns a sex into making love. It is energy transmutation, or simply breath sensing. You might think breathing is automatic. You do it without thinking. But in the bedroom, breath is the remote control for your nervous system. And here is the secret connection. Breath controls heart rate controls arousal speed. When a man is getting close to finishing, what happens to his breath? It gets short, shallow. Fast, he starts panting. This rapid breathing tells his brain, emergency, high stress, eject. It triggers the sympathetic nervous system, which rushes the climax. It forces him to finish quickly to relieve the tension. If you want him to finish hard, meaning a stronger, longer, more voluminous release, you actually want to delay that panic signal. You want to build the pressure without popping the valve. You do this by hijacking his breathing. Humans unconsciously mimic the people they are physically close to. It's called regulation. If you are holding a baby and you breathe slowly, the baby's heart rate slows down. The same applies to your man. Step 1a, the sync. Early in the encounter, start to match his breathing. If he breathes in, you breathe in. If he breathes out, you breathe out. Do this for a minute. You are establishing a rhythm. You are connecting your internal metronomes. Step 20, the anchor. Place your hand flat on his chest, right over his heart. This physical touch draws his attention to his own rhythm. It grounds him. Step 3, the downshift. As he gets excited and starts breathing fast, you must do the opposite. Take deep, slow, heavy inhales through your nose and long, audible exhales through your mouth. Hayawaya, make it loud enough for him to hear, because you are sensed, and because your body is against his, he will unconsciously try to match you. He will take a deeper breath. This deeper breath oxygenates his blood. It calms the panic signal in his brain, allowing him to last longer. But here is the magic. It doesn't stop the arousal. It actually deepens it. Instead of the arousal being a frantic, shallow buzz in his genitals, the deep breathing spreads the sensation through his whole body. It creates a whole body charge. This is the basis of tantric intimacy, but stripped of the mysticism. It is pure biology. By slowing him down right at the edge, you are allowing the dopamine to pool. You are compressing the spring one last time. He wants to finish. His body is screaming for it, but your breath is holding him in the suspense. This state, suspended on the edge of glory, is the most intense feeling a human being can have. It is pure ecstasy. Then when you finally release the control, when you speed up your breath, when you let go of the rhythm, when you look him in the eye, the finish will be explosive because he held his breath, he held the energy. When he releases it, it comes out like a tidal wave. Use your breath as a tool of transmutation. You are taking his frantic, nervous energy and transmuting it into deep, grounded power. You are the anchor. You are the calm in his storm. This technique requires you to be incredibly centered. You cannot get lost in the panic either. You must remain the goddess, calm, breathing, guiding. When you practice breath sensing, you will notice that the intimacy feels different. It feels heavier. It feels more significant. You aren't just two bodies rubbing together. You are one energy loop feeding into each other. And that, my dear, is how you become unforgettable. We have covered the mind, the senses, the rhythm, the eyes, and the breath. You now have the 9Ks, but we are not quite done, because once the storm has passed, what happens next? The moments after the finish are just as critical as the finish itself. This is where the memory is locked in. Now, we will discuss the aftermath and integration. We will talk about how to seal this experience into his mind so that he craves you even when he is miles away. The aftermath integration. The imprinting phase, the storm has passed, the rhythm has stopped, the breath is slowly returning to normal. In most bedrooms, this is where the connection breaks. We have a tendency to rush the after. We feel self-conscious about the mess, or we feel the need to clean up immediately, or we simply roll over and reach for our phones to check the time. We treat the climax as the finish line of a race. Once you cross it, the event is over. But if you want to make him obsessed, if you want to wire his brain to crave you specifically, you must understand the biology of the imprinting phase. For the 10 to 15 minutes immediately following a powerful release, a man's brain is flooded with a cocktail of neurochemicals, prolactin and oxytocin. During this window, his brain is in a state of neuroplasticity. He is hyper impressionable. Whatever happens in these 10 minutes gets wired into the experience of the pleasure itself. If you roll over and go to sleep, his brain wires the pleasure to isolation. If you jump up and clean, his brain wires the pleasure to shame or mess. But if you stay, if you hold the space, his brain wires the pleasure to you. Do not move. Stay in the tangled limbs. Stay in the sweat. This is the afterglow, and it is sacred ground. Use this time for positive reinforcement. Men are conditioned to doubt themselves, even after a great performance. A part of him wonders, did she really like it? Was I good? You need to answer that question without him asking. While you are lying there, run your fingers through his hair and whisper a validation. That was incredible. I needed that. You feel amazing. This simple verbal confirmation acts like a save button on a document. It locks the memory in as a success. It makes him feel proud, capable, and masculine. And a man who feels capable with you will always come back for more. Also, use scent. If you wear a signature perfume or even just the scent of your lotion, pull him close so his face is buried in your neck during this cool down period. Smell is the strongest trigger for memory. By flooding his senses with your scent while he is swimming in oxytocin, you are creating a Pavlovian response. The next time he smells that scent, even if he is at work or in the car, his body will involuntarily react with desire. This phase is not passive, it is an active integration. You are taking a physical event and turning it into an emotional memory. Don't skip the cuddle. Don't skip the silence. The silence is where the soul speaks. Let him hold you. Let him feel your heart rate slowing down with his. This safety, this profound lack of judgment and rush is what separates a hookup from a soulmate. He finished hard because of the techniques. He will return because of the aftermath, your new power. From nervous to goddess, we have traveled a long way together in this video. We started in the dark with the nagging fear of routine and the anxiety of not being enough. We walked through the psychology of the male loop. We painted the mental canvas with visual echoes and Daniel. We conducted a sensory symphony with ghost touches and contrast. And finally, we surrendered to the chaos of rhythm and the power of breath. You now hold the 9 forgotten keys. But before you go, I need you to understand one final truth. The most important truth: none of these techniques matter if you do not believe in the woman using them. You can learn every trick in the book. You can master the timing, the lighting, and the touch. But if you enter that bedroom feeling small, feeling apologetic, or feeling like you are performing a service, he will feel it. Insecurity as a vibration. But so does sovereignty. What I want for you, more than for you to make him finish hard, is for you to feel powerful. I want you to realize that your sexuality is not something you do for him. It is a gift you share with him. You are the source. You are the energy. You are the muse. When you use the visual echo, do not do it just to tease him. Do it because you love the curve of your own shadow. When you use the ghost touch, do not do it just to make him shiver. Do it because you marvel at the sensitivity of the human body. When you use the vulnerability vise and look him in the eye, do not do it just to bond. Do it because you deserve to be seen. You are a goddess. And a goddess does not worry if she is doing it right. A goddess creates the moment and she invites him to step into it. The nervousness you felt at the beginning of this video, let it go. That was the old you. The new you understands the machinery. The new you plays chess, not checkers. The new you knows that intimacy is a playground, not a test. Tonight, or whenever the moment arises next, I challenge you to try just one of these techniques, just one. Maybe it's the whisper, maybe it's the cold water, maybe it's just slowing down the rhythm when he expects you to speed up. Watch his reaction, watch the surprise in his eyes, watch the way his body responds to you with a new level of intensity. Let that reaction be your proof. Let it prove to you that you have always had this power, you just needed permission to use it. You don't need to be younger, you don't need to be thinner. You don't need to be more experienced, you just need to be present, intentional, and willing to embrace the forgotten arts. The routine is dead. Long live the passion. Thank you for trusting me with your time and your journey. This channel is dedicated to helping you unlock the full potential of your relationships and your feminine power. If this video opened your eyes, if it gave you a new perspective, please leave a like. It helps this message reach other women who are struggling in silence. And I want to hear from you. In the comments below, I want you to type IMT, claim your power. Tell the world that you are done with autopilot. You are building the love life you desire. Make sure you are subscribed and have the bell notification turned on. In the next video, we are going to dive even deeper into the psychology of attraction and how to make him think about you when you aren't even in the room. You are magnetic. You are unforgettable. Now, go show him. I'll see you in the next one.